Okay. Lots in there, right? So I like to try to start with the objective function because the objective function really is going to pick my variables for me. And then I can go backtrack and figure out how to organize the rest of that information. So were you given, what's the objective? Like, what's the question at the end of the problem? What are we trying to answer? Okay. So the maximum profit, I'm going to start with that. That's going to be my objective function. And it's going to be P for profit equals, and are you given some information that tells you what the profit is? Yeah. What is it? Okay, so we have, and this is where it helps because then it picks my variables. I'll call the compact tops, we'll call that A, or X, sorry. I don't know why I said A. So I'm going to say 40 for the compact tops, and then $50 on each regular top. So we'll call that 50 watts. Now, we are not going to use this at this point to graph anything. We are going to use this at the end to figure out which of the things are going to maximize the profit for us. But what this does give us is how we should organize our data, okay? And so I like to draw tables to organize this. So we have a compact top, right, which we're going to call X. And then we have a regular top, which we're going to call Y. And then we are given basically kind of two processes to make the top. What are those two processes called? Did anybody find that? There's fabricating and finishing. And so I'm going to make a row for fabricating. And a row for finishing. And then that's going to help me kind of organize what I have there. All right, I got that. So let's go just look up fabricating for a second. You are given the maximum number of labor hours available per week for fabricating, aren't you? Mm-hmm. Okay, and those are going to help set my constraints, my inequalities. What are they? So I'm going to put a 200 here and a 108 here. Okay. Now we're going to go piece back and see if we can find out, are you told some information now that I kind of have this organized? That's actually the hardest part. Like, there's so many different things. We have fabricating, finishing, we have profit, we have hours for compact, lots of stuff. I just think it helps if we organize it in this way. So are you told some hours that it takes for the compact top and the regular top to fabricate them? Doesn't it say each compact top requires 5 hours? So because I picked that as my variable for X, I'm going to treat, in a second when I make my inequalities, I'm going to make them 5X, okay? And then you are told each compact also takes 2 hours in the finishing department, right? So can I put that then for the compact 2 hours in the finishing right there? Are you guys following me so far? All right, now let's go to the regular top. Each regular top requires 4 hours for fabricating and 3 hours for finishing. Okay. So now this helps. I think that's all the information. We already wrote this profit. We're going to keep that up here. We're going to save that for later. At the end, we're going to figure out when we find the solution what maximizes profit. But now I have inequalities. It says this is the maximum labor hours. So does it make sense that I'm going to stay less than or equal to those things? All right, so let's write an inequality for fabricating. What would it be? 5x plus 4y is less than or equal to 200. For finishing, 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 108. Okay, at this point, didn't we learn how to do this? We didn't learn how. We refreshed our memories. You learned this before. How to do this yesterday. And absolutely, you can rearrange things and put them in slope-intercept form. But I taught you, or again, refreshed your memory, how to do finding the x and y intercepts, because some of them might be the vertex of our region and we're going to need those. Okay? So on the next page, and we're going to do this in a second, I have a huge grid for graphing. But while we're over here, let's find the x and y intercepts for the fabricating and for the finishing, okay? So if I put 0 in for x, and I divided by 4, what would I get for the y-intercept of this? And if I put 0 in for y, what would be the y-intercept, or the x-intercept for this? 40, right? Okay. Let's do this one. If I put 0 in for x, what's 108 divided by 3? So 0.36. And if I put 0 in for y, what's 108 divided by 2? 54. Okay.